And another really exciting campaign launching on the 22nd is Tang Garden Seasons, and this is going to be for an expansion to Tang Garden, but this is also going to feature all the content that was offered in the original campaign. And this is a game that's going to play 2 to 4 players and takes about 45 to 60 minutes to play. And if you're not familiar with Tang Garden, this is essentially a tile placement game where players are going to be building up a garden, but then also building it up vertically, adding different ornaments and decorations and scenery out into the garden. And then players are going to be earning victory points by putting their individual character miniatures out on the board, and they're going to be earning points depending on that character's preferences in conjunction with the direction it's facing and the scenery that it's going to see there. Each character will also have its own special abilities that are going to help players throughout the game in different ways. And in order for players to place a tile, they'll have to match the edges of that tile with the tiles that are already existing out on the board. And the different edges could be things like water formations, rock formations, or greenery. The players will also each have a board that tracks the greenery, rock, and water formations that they're able to complete, and each time they match up an edge of a tile, they're going to be moving that marker up on that board, and they'll also be able to move it up again if they're able to completely close off one of those formations. And in order for players to put out the different scenery, trees, and structures out on the board, they're going to be drafting cards for those different items, and then each of those cards will have an icon on it, and you'll have to match that with a tile that's already put out on the board. And this expansion is going to be introducing a few different modules that can be mixed into the game. And the first one is the Autumn module, and this is going to be introducing a few different colored leaves. And this one adds a little bit of set collection to the game because as you place tiles, you'll be able to pick these leaves up and you can try and collect them to get victory points. What you can also do is instead of keeping that leaf, you can exchange it in to raise the value of that leaf type at the end of the game. And then we have the Winter module, which actually takes place inside the palace, which gets added to the center of the board. And players will be rebuilding the roof and earning victory points for the construction, and building different statues and earning instant abilities. The Spring module is one of the more thematic ones because it introduces the Lantern Festival and the iconic red envelopes. And the way that this one works is it actually adds a hidden auction mechanism where players will be putting an undisclosed amount into the red envelopes, which will be revealed later in the game. And of course, this one also adds the lanterns and a nighttime landscape to go along with it. The Summer module actually completely changes the way that you play the game because it turns it into a cooperative game where players will be trying to work together in order to complete different tasks and objectives in order to win the game. And then finally we have the Equinox module, which is going to add a worker placement aspect to the game where players are going to be building different pagodas, building them higher and higher in order to get better views of the land. And doing all this is going to allow you to gain some permanent improvements to the base actions of the game. This is the game that I'm most excited about this week and the one that I'm most likely to back. I haven't played it yet, so I might try to get a game in on Tabletop Simulator. And I do really like tile placement games like Isle of Skye or Carcassonne, but I don't actually own any in my collection. Comparing these games is probably unfair because this one just has the next level of table presence, but if I think I like the design of this one as much as I like those ones, I think I'll probably be more inclined to get this one just because it looks so much nicer. But I think this one will really have to impress me because both Isle of Skye and Carcassonne are near perfect games in my opinion.